Hey everybody, my name is Chuck Jackson. Welcome to Facebook Live Division 4 Style. I am the commander of the 4th Young Marine Division, and the topic tonight is getting and selecting registered adults. Adult volunteers can make or break a unit, so I just want to give you a couple things to consider. As always, we like this to be interactive, so thumbs up or constructive comments down below. If there's things that you would like us to see or broadcast later on, go ahead and put those in the comments also. I'd love to see them. So let's get started here. There we go. All right, sorry, new software, I'm trying it out and see how it looks. So why are you bringing them on for? I know at first that seems like an obvious question, but really if you don't have a purpose for why you're bringing them on, you really need to think this through. Are you bringing them on as unit staff, as an AMO, quartermaster, TO, paymaster, adjutant, assistant adjutant, public affairs officer? Whatever you're bringing them on for, you need to be specific, and I'll get a little bit more into why on that. But when you say, do you want to volunteer, and people don't know what they're doing, their first inclinations is going to be to say, no, I don't know why I'm doing this. So what you want to do is make sure you have a purpose on why you're bringing them on. And then what's in it for them? What's in it for an adult volunteer to come on board and spend their time and energy and effort in helping these young kids? Are they going to benefit? What's the benefit to them? Are they going to develop a new skill set? Maybe they're older like me and they want to be able to give back. You know, the spaces, there's some great opportunities in the spaces programs for adult volunteers to go out and do things they normally wouldn't be able to do. So make sure that you know what's in it for them and be able to communicate it. And then type out a brief job description or so you can put it in Craigslist or the base, post, air station, newspaper, whatever. That's another thing. A lot of military members, they get awards for community service. So make sure they know that. Make sure that they know they can earn, at least I know in the Marine Corps, maybe if you're Army or Navy or Air Force or Coast Guard, and you know that there's a community service award for helping out with volunteers, put that in the comments below so other people know that this time, energy, and effort also goes to something else. Yes, helping with the young Marines is rewarding. Yes, man, those kids they can melt your heart. But you got to let them know on the outset, you know, what's this all about besides just strengthening the youth or strengthening America's youth or keeping kids off of drugs, out of gangs, and in school. They need to know those other things that come along with volunteering for the unit. Because you may say, oh yeah, do you want to volunteer? And they say yes, and you make them a paymaster, and their own finances are messed up or they're financially challenged in an area. Maybe they shouldn't be the paymaster, you know, or somebody like me. Admin is my weak area. So I'd make a horrible adjutant. I just would. It is what it is. And then I got my pirate ship analogy. So here's my pirate ship analogy. Back in the old days, the days of the pirates and so on, the pirate captains, Blackbeard, Morgan, you know, Anne Bonny, all these pirate captains were elected. They were elected by the crew, much like our unit commanders are elected now. And either the pirate captain completed the mission, in this case plunder, that's not our mission, or he didn't. And if he didn't, you know, he walked the plank. Now I'm not saying our UCs need to walk the plank, but they will get voted out. So it was imperative the pirate captain selected the right crew in order to accomplish the mission. He didn't bring somebody on just because they wanted to go for a cruise of the Bahamas. He didn't want to bring on a helicopter parent. He had a specific purpose for every crew member he brought aboard, because every crew member got a share of the plunder. Our units should almost be the same way, except for plundering. But all of our unit staff should have a specific purpose. And the other thing is, people without a purpose hate being there. If you have an adult volunteer that really doesn't have a purpose to be there except sucking up oxygen and maybe make sure that you hit the 1-to-10 ratio or something else like that, they're going to be miserable, and they'll start making their own purpose. And their own purpose might be to interrupt the effectual working of the unit. So these are the management things that you need to take in consideration. I know their work. I know it's work writing out a job description, but I have never applied for a job in my life that didn't have a description attached to it. And even though this is volunteer, this is still a nonprofit. And these people should know approximately what they're doing. I'll show you a quick example. I like this example right here. This is a squad leader, but my regimental commanders have basically the same thing. This is a job description for a squad leader. They're supposed to set the example at all times. They should know the numbers, the names, the personal information of all those assigned to them. They should be able to counsel and assist, have one-on-ones with members of their squad, with matters that squad's having. They should be able to form the squad, accurately report. I could go through this, but what this does now is it sets a squad leader up for success, because now they know what's expected of them. So they're not wondering, am I doing a good job or am I doing a poor job as a squad leader? They can say, man, I'm hitting all these points. And now the TO, when he sits down with the training officer, when he sits down with the squad leader, can sit there and on their one-on-ones and give them feedback on areas that squad leader needs to improve on, or areas that squad leader is doing a great job. It is no different than for an adult volunteer. The worst thing that can happen in your life is you're going through life and you don't know if you're doing a good job or a bad job, that you don't know if you're doing the right job. And if nobody sits down and gives you course corrections to that, then you just keep on doing what you think you're doing. And the unit doesn't move forward. It just sits there, and if you're not growing, you're dying. So those are some of the management issues. Let's take a look at some leadership issues. Of the 21 irrefutable laws, this is the law that hits what I'm talking about most accurately. It's the law of magnetism. And the law of magnetism states, who you are is who you attract. I have a love-hate relationship with this law, because that means if my staff is good to go and everybody's operating at efficiency, then I, as a human being, I'm doing a pretty good job of leading myself, of self-leadership. But if my staff is lazy, they're arguing, they're cantankerous, and everything else like that, and especially if I'm complaining about them complaining, then maybe it's time I take a hard look at myself. Who you are is who you attract. So as you see your staff and how they're performing is a direct reflection of the UC. And when you bring other people in, whoever that group, that unit staff is as a whole, those are the type of people that you're going to attract. So if you have a whole bunch of hover parents in your staff, you're going to attract a whole, there's nothing wrong with parents. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean parents that are only there for their own child, not there for the program. And then there's a few out there. Those are who you're going to attract. If you're looking at people who are just there for a social hour, all you're going to get is unit staff that are just there for a social hour. If you're just there to relive the glory days, and the unit staff you attract are just going to be there to relive the glory days. So as you look at your staff, as the staff looks at itself, it needs to take an honest inventory of who they are. And then move from there. This brings us to where you can see the law of magnetism. Generational, age-related, right? People of a certain age usually hang out together. Background, ethnic, social. But now we get into three that I think really apply. Attitude, how people view life. How does your staff view the program? How does your staff see the program functioning? I just had not too long ago a situation I was dealing with, and the adult volunteer didn't even know what the RAM was or where to find it, and that's sad, you know. As a unit, we should make sure that the only way they can get on the same page is we all read the same book, you know, and know how it's supposed to function, right? Freedom within a framework is what we have. You know, there's a lot of freedom in running a unit, but we do have left and right marker boundaries. Values, do they believe in what we believe in? Or do they have a grow house in their basement? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a grow house in your basement if you live in like Seattle or Colorado or something else like that. But what I am saying is maybe they're not so much anti-drug as they should be. In energy levels, desire to accomplish. Do they really want to accomplish this stuff for the program itself? If you make a goal of getting your unit to Hawaii, are they going to put in the energy effort that is required to help you get that unit to Hawaii next year, and fundraising and logistics and everything? So you can as you think through this, I'm sure you can see the law of magnetism and how it applies to everyday life. Now, creating your own magnetism. So what qualities are you looking for in an adult volunteer? Now, we can think it through, but what I'm exhorting everybody to do is, as a unit staff, sit down and think, man, who are we looking for? What are your pain points? You know, when I selected an assistant division commander, I knew my admin skills were atrocious. And so I wanted an assistant division commander with the same energy level. I wanted same assistant division commander with the same attitude, same goals, values, you know, but he should be able to augment, or she should be able to augment my weakness. And that was Hugh Rico, who's great on admin. It doesn't make him any less or any more than me. It's just different, and it strengthens, you know, the division team. So what qualities are you looking for? And then write it down. And then why do you desire those qualities? Don't put dependability if nobody ever shows up. Because the first time nobody shows up, and this is actually a dependable person, they're going to leave the program, right? Because they're not going to walk into, oh man, these guys wanted somebody who's honest and had integrity and were dependable and could get things accomplished, and all they do is sit around in the back corner and drink coffee and tell stories of things that they used to do. You're not going to attract good staff like that. So you got to look and see if you have those qualities. Do you have those qualities in you, in your staff? And if not, then there's a growth opportunity, right? This is an opportunity to beat yourself up. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is get you to get some self-awareness, right? We get self-awareness and we start using self-leadership, and then we can improve ourselves. We can improve the unit. As the unit improves, it will grow. I didn't turn everything off, so I need to check my backup. It will grow. It will grow and it will prosper, and you'll have this functioning unit where it's fun to come to. All right, to summarize, because I said I was going to try to keep it between 5 and 10 minutes. It looks like I'm over. So internalize the Young Marine mission, vision statements, as well as your own core values and your own social contract, right? Make sure you have a purpose for them, and that it will aid and move the unit forward. Have a job for them, a job that has defined characteristics to it that you can counsel them to. right? And then live up to your own social contract of who you want to have in there. If you want them to be honest and dependable and hand things in on time and everything else like that, you got to live up to it yourself. And then find people who believe what you believe, but think different thoughts. In other words, have the same values, the same ethics, same attitude, the same energy level as you, but you don't want a whole bunch of yous in there. That makes sense. A whole bunch of people that are identical to you. You want them to have strengths in different areas, right? So there's some little bit of healthy debate, and healthy debate keeps things on the right track. So find people who believe what you believe, but think different thoughts. So that's all for this live session. As always, make sure you make comments down below on this broadcast. So there might be other things that you might want to hear. You might want to hear from somebody from headquarters. You might want to hear from regimental commanders, or I know Tornado Alley right now is on the Baton Death March. I'd like to bring Chip on and have him explain a little bit of that, because I think it's kind of cool. So if your unit's doing something cool, let me know. And bring you on these live broadcasts so we can, as a team, as a division team, we can make ourselves better. Thanks a lot. Gunny's out.